Hey, what's going on? Um, I think there's a lot of like national headlines of like what's happening in the nation with all up housing. And one of the most like confusing things that we run into is like that's great, but like what's happening in Texas, like I don't care at all because like I'm in Minnesota and what's happening in northern Minnesota, like by the Canadian border, that also doesn't apply to me. So like what actually matters and what does that data look like in my actual neighborhood, like what's actually happening in the Twin Cities and surrounding area. So I thought that maybe I would just do a quick, you know, data search so you guys can see exactly, what's happening with inventory in the Minneapolis and surrounding area. So you can actually make sense of the headlines locally. And so I do this stuff kind of often just to see what's going on, just to keep myself up. But it's very rare that people actually get an idea of what's happening. So this is the back end MLS, and we just have some stats that connects with realist and all of the listings and stuff, and you can see what's happening with active inventory. So I'm going to do a couple of charts here, and these are kind of fun actually. So I'm actually going to show you the ebbs and flows really quick. So this is going to be the last 10 years of active houses on the market for sale. And so this is what it looks like all the way since January of 2012. And you can see the same exact ebbs and flows every single year. So that's why I've been telling people, like, yeah, the market's slowing in the wintertime because it always does, right? You can see that. So it has broader like implications of like how many houses are actually on the market. So you can see us coming out of the Great Recession and offloading all of that bank inventory that was on the marketplace. And the market really started heating up, kind of, at least from my perspective, was right around 2016 and 2017 when inventory got to a point where there was more buyers than sellers wanted to sell, and that really started taking big chunks out of it. And you can see the pandemic happen here, right? So we had the little freak out here in the spring of the pandemic, and then the buyers came out like mad, and inventory went way down. And then the next year, even in the pandemic, right, we still had the same ebbs and flows, right? So even in the winter, we had the lowest. January is going to be the lowest amount of inventory. This is Feb. Where is it here? Jan and Feb are going to be kind of the bottom end, but then you're going to see this is when Jan and Feb is when the buyers start coming out. So the new year hits, the buyers come out and they start buying things, and that's why we see the closings start to hit the market. And March and April, those were buyers that were out in January, February, and they're closing, and then sellers are starting to come out, put their houses on the market, right? But the same ebbs and flows. So that's a 10-year track record. I just wanted to show the same ebbs and flows of like spring market hit, inventory goes up. Then 4th of July, generally speaking, it's kind of right around July that we hit peak, kind of midsummer. Where are we here? Yep, June, July, we have the peak. 4th of July happens, and all of a sudden, slowly people start to get ready for school. Then they start getting ready for the holidays, and the bottoms out in Feb, Jan. Okay, so what's been happening the last 2 years, and like what's actually happening now, I think is interesting. These charts are easier to see as bar charts, but this thing is broken and it's not letting me do a bar chart, FYI. Okay, so let's customize this. Let's go to search. I'm actually going to do a map search here, so it's really relevant, like we talked about. We'll just do a radius around Minneapolis, okay? That's probably about close enough. Okay. And then we're going to do actives past 2 years. Let's do past 5 years. Okay. And then we'll pull up past 2 years too, because I think that's interesting. This can take a while to compile. Okay. So since January 17th, it's not as dramatic because of the recession. So you're going to kind of see the more ebbs and flows. It's not that different. But we can compare here. I think we have data through November, right? Yeah. Okay, so we have through November. Where's November here? There's November. Okay, so last November we had 7,100 active listings. Okay, within that, now we have 8,000. Is it? Where is this? So we had 7,100. On the nose, now we have 8,000. So let's do the quick math here. Divided by, what was it, 7,100? So the market. So this year, November data. We don't have December's data yet, right? Obviously, it hasn't completed yet. We've gone up almost 13% in inventory, right? Which is actually significant. We're actually starting to see the inventory build on the marketplace with interest rates. So we are seeing inventory raise, which generally speaking, right, supply and demand, as more supply hits, it starts to match demand, and that's what we're going to start to see pricing. Now, what we've actually seen with pricing here, we kind of gave up right in this area here, right? So when the Fed started going nuts with interest rates, we kind of gave up pricing, and we lost most of 2021 gains. And now it appears, at least the buyers and sellers that I have out in the market, it feels like we've kind of hit a bottom right now, where we gave up the gains, we're repricing back basically kind of beginning of 2021, somewhere right on there. Then we're actually seeing traction in buyers move in those areas in that spot. Now it may take a little bit longer because it's the winter, right? So when you're listing in the winter time, it just takes a little bit longer. So we're probably selling our houses within 30 or 45 days right now. But I just wanted to make a quick video, kind of give you an idea what the ebbs and flows of the annual markets look like, and then anchor that in what's actually happening with the inventory rising right now compared to last year. And we are seeing an increase, almost 13% in the metro area, at least within that circle, right? That I made. So I hope that's valuable. I hope that's fun, as it is for me. So talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.